Hey there everybody, welcome back. So today's review is on Cinderella, not the animated classic, which I will admit I'm not a fan of the original animated classic. I've never cared for the movie. Today we will be talking about the 2015 live-action Cinderella movie. To start off, I love Disney movies. That's one of my biggest fandoms is Disney. And I always make it a point to where, if I'm able to, I will go opening day for any movie made by Disney, whether it's their normal properties, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, especially Star Wars, but we'll get into that in another video.
Prepare yourself for hours.
Oh god, I love that.
Oh no!
And honestly, in the future, prepare yourself for hours of Star Wars content. You have been warned.
Ah!
So anyway, when this movie came out, I was in San Antonio. I went to the nearest AMC theaters, and I sat in a room, and I was the only adult male there. Everybody else that was in attendance were children and maybe their mothers. So it did feel a little awkward at first, but I was okay with it because I thought, this is a Disney fairy tale. It's not like there's going to be a lot of guys going to it unless it's live-action Beauty and the Beast, but that's a different story. This didn't make me feel awkward or anything, and did not keep me from enjoying this film. It is a very good film. I believe it's another notch in Disney's belt. Every element of the film made me feel like I was reliving my childhood, back when I believed in the magic of Disney. I still do, to points, but not as much as I did when I was a kid. So I definitely have a lot of favorites in this movie. I'm gonna go ahead and talk about the standouts. The first standout is Cate Blanchett as the evil stepmother, the Lady Tremaine. She is fantastic in this role. With her and the way that the story revolved around her character at times, it made her seem more sympathetic than the animated version of the evil stepmother. Like, there are points where you can actually understand why she is the way she is, and even at a point in the movie, she explains why she is the way she is. You can sympathize with her, you still hate her, but Cate Blanchett gave us a villain who you love to hate. Cinderella, played by Lily James, gave a rather good performance, but sadly she's outshone in most of the movie by Cate Blanchett. Helena Bonham Carter, the wife of Tim Burton, plays the fairy godmother, and I think she's perfect casting for this role. And she gave a new and refreshing twist on the character. She's a bit more klutzy. As far as secondary characters, you get to see her father for a little bit, but I thought that he was performed well enough for the limited amount of screen time that he had. I thought that the evil stepsisters were performed rather well, but nothing spectacular. And then for Prince Charming, he's given a little bit more character than in the animated feature, but again, nothing too spectacular. Now, as far as the story of the film, Cinderella is not a paint-by-numbers live-action version of the animated feature. It does some new things with the story that weren't in the original one, and one thing that I loved is that it combined a lot of elements from the animated feature, the elements that I actually really liked, and then they combined them with a few elements from the original Brothers Grimm fairy tale. They also give explanations to certain things that happen in the story that weren't given explanations in the animated feature. For instance, no spoilers if you really care, but it gives a reason for why the prince doesn't immediately chase after Cinderella after she leaves. Why it's just guards chasing after her. Two of my favorite elements from the movie were in the costume design and the musical score. For the costuming, I thought that everything was very well done. It was aesthetically pleasing, and the most beautiful was Cinderella's iconic ballroom dress. I actually prefer it over the animated version, which I thought the animated version of the dress was very good. For me personally, the musical score is not very noticeable for the first half of the movie. I didn't start noticing it until about the time that the fairy godmother showed up, and at that point it became magical. There's the one specific track in that entire scene, which is the second act, so from where she shows up to right after the ball's over and Cinderella has escaped. My favorite scene with the music is where Cinderella's dress transforms into that elegant blue gown. I have no other words to describe it, it's just magical. Now, of course, it's not a perfect movie. There are some flaws, but I'm not going to go into talking about them because it was just mainly in the story and dialogue, and it was just small common sense stuff, so I'm not going to really get into it. Overall, in my opinion, I feel this Cinderella far exceeds that of the animated classic. And I would suggest any Disney fan put it on their must-watch list. Anyway, that's all from me, guys. The next review I haven't decided on yet. If I don't make any by Sunday, then Sunday night I will come back and I will do a Logan review because me and Mallory are going to see it that night. Again, thank you so much for watching, and until the next time, bye-bye.